Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with One Piece, episodes 1029 and 1030. And those of you who are watching later on the playlist, um, and for those of you who are watching as this is put up, uh, it's made very clear really quickly that this was not recorded um, between the reactions for 1028 and 1031. So let me explain. I am recording this later on, like I'm already in the 1050s and everything. And the reason for that is I was waiting on this, on recording this episode until Film Red was coming out. So I could watch these episodes right before Film Red. I wanted to get to them at the same time because I know these episodes connect to Film Red. I know that they are the tie-ins. So I wanted to make sure that I got to them at the same time. So I skipped these when these first came out. I decided to skip them and wait. Now, if you're going through the playlist, you're seeing this in the correct order. You're seeing this after 1028. But again, I'm recording this well past this. I'm going to try my best not to talk about much of anything that happens during Wano in this, because this isn't even about that. This is two tie-in episodes that lead into the Film Red movie, so I'm going to be talking about that kind of stuff. I'm going to be just bringing up, excuse me, just bringing up the stuff that's relevant to that. So I know that these tie in to the movie, and I know that they center around Luffy and Uta. I don't know if Shanks is directly shown in them. I presume he probably is. But I'm very interested to start this because I've been waiting for this movie ever since it was first announced. Not just since it first came out, since it was first announced. I've been waiting for the point where I could react to this. So I'm very excited to see what we have in store with even just this tie-in. I will say off the bat, I do know that Uta is canon. Like, the character of Uta is canon. But in terms of the movie, I know that there's certain aspects of the movie that are canon, but the overall story is not, which is kind of the same as other movies. Like, for example, I know Shiki, the character of Shiki in Strong World is canon, and the fact that he escaped Impel Down and everything, and, you know, was a rival to Roger and all. Like, all of that is canon. Just the actual events of the Strong World movie are not. And some of the other movies I think might have some canon aspects to them too, but yeah, it's a really interesting way to go about doing these movies by introducing some certain elements that are canon, but not making the movies direct canon, because it would be hard to do. It would be hard to do that and, you know, actually explain the timeline of things. That can get all kinds of whack when you try to figure all this out. So I believe I have heard that these episodes are a flashback of sorts that explain Luffy and Uta's relationship prior to the events of Film Red. But that's all I know about it. But I'm pretty excited because I've been, again, waiting for this, and I've heard like one song from the movie by Otto. And so I do at least have some vibe at what the music is going to be like. I don't know if we're going to get music in these special or in these episodes though. But I like the character design of Uta, and I'm definitely interested to see what she's like. Um, so yeah, sorry for the yawning and all, but we're gonna get right on this. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this was an interesting set of episodes that definitely built up the excitement for Film Red. We get to see Uta and Luffy's backstory, how they grew up through some period of time. We don't know exactly how long, but during the time the red-haired pirates were in Fuchsia Village, during that trip, or I guess between trips. It's the first time that Luffy also met Shanks. So that's interesting. I assume that probably a lot of this is supposed to be canon. Because while the events of the movie aren't canon, I know that the character of Uta is. And I presume that the story of these episodes is, again, probably at least mostly canon in that regard. So I am curious as maybe not. I could be entirely wrong. I don't know. I guess we'll see how the movie takes things. But the big takeaways from this is Uta's dream is to create a new Genesis. Genesis obviously means beginning, start, that kind of stuff. So she wants to create a new world, a new beginning for the world. And as we see at the end there, free of war and poverty and all of that stuff. The problem with this is it's a very idealistic dream and is practically impossible. Because if you're going to have any forms of government, it's impossible. If you're going to have any forms of class, it's impossible. And it sucks. We would love that to happen. It's very idealistic. But the problem is, if you're going to have people living in different situations and all, which is just going to happen from society existing, there's not going to be peace. We can do our best to make things more peaceful. We can do our best to help with peace. But the idea of a world without strife of any kind, without any kind of war or poverty or any negativity is just, it's not feasible. We would love it to be, but humanity kind of fucks that idea up. And it sucks. It's hard to deal with. Sometimes you wish you could just change things completely. Like, I know myself and many others have definitely thought, like, if we could just snap our fingers and solve world hunger, we would do it. But at the same time, it's like, we can't. And there's a reason we can't. Quick fixes very often don't work for the long run, or come with some hidden negatives that you wouldn't have anticipated. And it's sad, it's upsetting. But that's just how it is. So I want to know what happened on Allegia, why it was, how it was destroyed, and all the people taken out, supposedly by Shanks, and how it's back in the current day with Uta, and she's gonna perform there and everything. There's a lot of questions I have regarding all of this, and I think that's what you're supposed to feel. Like you're supposed to see these episodes prior to the movie, and you're supposed to feel that kind of confusion. You're supposed to feel that like mystery on what the hell is going on here. Um, as for Luffy and Utsa's relationship, it's like it's okay. They feel like friends who didn't quite like each other at first, but grew to bond. It's like sure, I see it. We got a little bit with Ben Beckman as well, and that's cool to see. As I said in the reaction, that was definitely something I wanted to see from the movie, getting to see the members of the Red Haired Pirates expanded upon and given more depth and characterization to, because we haven't had a lot. Like we have a little bit, but not a lot. And I think the most we have for them outside of Shanks himself is with Yasop, and only because of Usopp being on Luffy's crew, and we've heard stuff because of that. But I've wanted to know a lot more about the others, and at least we're seeing more of them. And with these two episodes, it was Ben Beckman. Maybe in the movie we'll see more of Yasop and Lucky Roo as well. But I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah, these were good. I wouldn't call them the best episodes of this series, or even amongst the best. There were some parts of it that felt a little slow, and it felt like there were some moments that were just like nothing was happening. Um, but nothing was bad. The Garp scene felt a little out of nowhere. I will say that. When Garp rescues Luffy from the water, that just felt kind of pointless and out of nowhere. Um, and I was at first wondering why they only showed the East Blue crewmates as kids for like everyone finding out about Allegia. But I guess maybe that's the point. Maybe it's because like everyone in the East Blue was hearing about it at that time. So it's like you're not going to see necessarily Frankie, Brooke, Jinbei, Robin, Chopper hearing about it at that time, because at that time everyone in the East Blue was hearing about it. But I would think that everybody would just be hearing about it. I don't know. I don't know. But it just focused on the East Blue companions for the time. Uh, yeah, the music was obviously good. I've heard some of Otto's music. I've heard Tote Musica, which was mentioned in here, but it was mentioned not as a song. So I'm wondering what that's going to be about. But I have heard the song Tote Musica. I've also heard a different Otto song that's not connected to this called Usewa, which is my favorite of the two I've heard. Usewa is just really good. Also, I like the lyrics, which are very anti-establishment and anti standards, just standards of life and everything. I don't know how to put it. But yeah, this was good. This was a good lead-in. Not the best lead-in I've seen. Um, that might still go to either Strong World or Film Gold, but still good. Um, Either way, I'm excited to see where this goes, and we will be getting to the movie. So, all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on these two episodes down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.